What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Check out the C8. We went ahead and lowered it last week. We ordered those CCO Performance lowering couplers, I think you call them. Went ahead and installed them on the front end. The front end's down about an inch now. The rears, we adjusted with the factory struts. They have about an inch of adjustment. So we went ahead and lowered those down too. Looks like we've got about a 2-finger gap now, maybe just a tad bit more in the rear. And then in the front, looks like we've got literally about a 2-finger gap. It's a little bit more, but it's perfectly even front and back now. I really like the way it looks, guys. It sits perfect now. I was contemplating doing like 20s in the front, 21s in the rear to kind of fill in the wheel gap. But honestly, that looks pretty good. Don't have to worry about the fenders rubbing, the tires. It sits like perfect. So in the comments, there seems to be a lot of concerns about, why would I lower it? The ground clearance, is it gonna scrape the bottom? Is it gonna mess with the handling? So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We've got our handy dandy tape measure here. We're gonna check out what the ground clearance is. Check it just in the garage here. Check what it is with the lift down and up. And then we're gonna head down to the bottom of the driveway there and just see how it clears, or if it even does clear. This is with the car parked with the lift down. This is what the ride height is. Not stock, but about 1 inch lower. So guys, looking at the tape measure here, we have about 5.5 inches of ground clearance. Now I don't have the C7Z with us right now, so I can't remember exactly how much ground clearance we had, but I want to say we didn't have 5.5 inches. I have PTSD from owning a C7Z06 and having to worry about every single driveway, speed bump, everything. So guys, I'm well aware of the fact that the Corvettes lowered are usually a pain in the butt because I have that PTSD, but with the C8 it's a little different, guys. Go ahead and get her started up so we can go ahead and get this thing lifted. See what the ground clearance is with the nose lift on. Still one of the best sounding stock exhaust. Sounds so good. Nose lift up. Oh, it's unavailable. All your doors and hoods and everything have to be shut in order to use the nose lift. Let's go ahead and lift her up now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shut her off. All right, so check out that wheel gap with the nose lift up. Remember earlier we had about a 2-finger gap? Guys, we have like more than a 4-finger gap with the lift now. With our tape measure here, remember before we were at a 5.5 inch gap between the nose and the floor? Now we got a 7-inch gap. Guys, the lift is literally a game changer. With the old Z06, with the C5, the C6s, the C7s, you're always worried about ground clearance. With this lift, you've got an 1.5 inches of extra lift, which is amazing. If you get a C8, I would definitely recommend getting the lift. It's a game changer, guys. All right, guys, so this is with the lift all the way up. We're gonna drop her down and see how close that front lip gets to the road. All right, guys, so this is with the lift down. Remember, you would never do this because you have the lift, but if you had the lift all the way down, you still got about a 1/2 inch clearance there. But remember, you're never gonna do this. You have the lift. With the lift up, it looks like we have about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 of clearance with the lift up on a pretty bad angle driveway. I'm gonna roll through the driveway a couple times, going down the driveway, going up the driveway with the lift up. Lift up, going down the driveway. Alright guys, so you can see right there with the lift up, there's no ground clearance issues, and this is a pretty bad driveway. I'm gonna go try to find a speed bump so you guys can kind of see that as well. But also guys, that's also going dead on with the driveway. Usually with lowered cars, like with the C7Z06, I had to always take every turn at like an angle, left or right or whatever, just so I didn't hit that front splitter. But with this, you can go like literally dead on. So even if I tried to go like sideways and stuff, we'd even have more clearance. So it's not for everybody, but if you have the lift, you could definitely get away with about an inch drop, no problem. All right guys, so we're gonna go and try to find some speed bumps now so we can see how the lowered car deals with those. So I also want to give you like a perspective with this camera view and show you guys what it's like to look outside. You probably can't tell from the camera, but being in the car, you know, going from the C7 to the C8, you've already felt like, wow, you can actually see over the hood. Now with it lowered another inch, you literally feel like you're on the ground and you can see over this hood so easily. Like if we were on a track and taking turns, you can see exactly where that turn's at. This is so amazing how the visibility is so clear. You can see everything. There's a couple of you guys that are concerned that, you know, when you do lower this car, oh, it's gonna mess up what the engineers were trying to do with it. Remember, these coilovers or shock towers or whatever, they're all adjustable from the factory. The manufacturer made it that way. Not everybody who buys this car is gonna drive it one particular way. Remember, there's clientele that drive this car just to literally putt around town. But then there's clientele that actually take it to the track. Can you have those two set up the same exact way and perform the same? Absolutely not. The people who are Grand Tours who are gonna be driving around the city, putting around, they want a softer suspension, like the mag ride and stuff like that. Whereas the people who are taking to the track want a lower center of gravity, want that, you know, stiffer suspension to feel the road. Don't freak out about the fact that, you know, lowering it might mess up, you know, what the engineers are trying to do. You have to become adaptable. There's not one right setting for everybody. There's multiple settings, that's why they're adjustable. I have no track experience whatsoever. I've been on the drag strips, but never like on a track course. But I will tell you guys, wow, just like from taking that one turn, this thing is so flat now. The center of gravity feels so much lower. It's totally different. Just that 1 inch, it's insane. Also, it feels a little stiffer. We're in like a touring mode, or my mode, but it's touring suspension, and it does feel quite a bit stiffer. Let's go to sport here. All right, we're in sport now. Guys, this thing is, it's so flat. This thing is freaking amazing. Oh, this is so good. Let's go to track here, see how much stiffer it gets. Wow. Guys, it's almost like the front end is lowered even more when I put it in track. But geez, does it handle. There's so much grip on that front end, like it just feels like it's gonna turn wherever you want it to go. It is so good. All right, so here's a pretty sharp corner. Let's see how it handles around this thing. Just gravel on the road there. Guys, 50 mile an hour like it was nothing, and that corner was a 20 mile an hour corner. This thing feels so good. I guarantee you guys, it definitely did not mess up the handling. If anything, it improved it. The lower center of gravity, the stiffer, I feel like it's a little stiffer. Guys, it feels really, really good. If you lower your car, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Guys, why is it when you want to find a speed bump, which is probably never, but why is it when you want to find a speed bump, you can't find a speed bump? There's always speed bumps everywhere. This is crazy. I just moved to this new city and it looks like they don't have any speed bumps, which is great. But I need a speed bump. All right, guys. So I have been searching and searching and searching for the worst speed bump I could find. And guys, look at this bad boy. I mean, it's got scrapes all over it. This thing is freaking huge. I may be regretting this real quick, but we're gonna put the lift up and we're gonna see if we make it over that, guys. I think that's a really good testament to the ground clearance after lowering it with the lift, if it makes that or not. So here we go. Hopefully no one steals the camera. And hopefully I don't rip up the front end of my car for this video. Here we go. I think we're good, guys. I can't see anything. I hear anything. Well, guys, if that last part didn't make you a believer, I don't know what can. That was with the lift up on that nasty, nasty speed bump, and I just reviewed the footage and it cleared it. Like, dude, you definitely wouldn't be able to do that in the C7 Z06. There's no way, especially after you lowered it, there's no way. But guys, this thing, it's telling you it's a whole, it's a different car. Like, yes, it's got the Corvette motor, the Corvette heart, but this is not a Corvette body, suspension, anything anymore. This is not, they could have easily just put another name on this thing and you would have believed it, because it's not like your typical Corvette, guys. But yeah, guys, for me, the 1-inch drop is definitely a must. It's so much better handling wise. It looks way better. I'm in love with it, guys. Trust me, I love this car and I would never do anything to hurt it. And I have the PTSD from the C706, so I don't want it to be too low. But guys, that is a ton of ground clearance with the 1-inch drop. And you remember when it was stock, it was like another 1.5 inches, 2 inches taller. So, and then if you couple that with the lift, then you're looking at like a 9-inch total front end lift. So with the stock, you guys definitely have no issues. Even with the lowered, you really don't have any issues, guys. But anyways, guys, next video, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the hood. We're gonna wrap the side skirts here. I saw a picture of one on Facebook and it looked awesome, so I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Worst comes to worst, if it doesn't, guess what? It's a vinyl wrap, we can take it off. So we're gonna try that out next video. Also, this weekend we have Corvette Fest 2020 over in Old Town, so we'll go to that, show you guys a bunch of Corvettes and stuff. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with the C8 today, and we'll see you guys next video. Later.